Hello, white people. I guess there's going to be another presidential debate tonight, and I understand that the moderator or whatever can mute the mic if somebody's talking over the moderator or the other candidate. Well, you know they're going to mute Trump. That's what that means. And so what? Let them do it. Let them be assholes. You know, the people who hate Trump, they're just going to hate Trump. They're not going to have some sort of special epiphany and say, oh, wow, I've been wrong this whole time. I can't believe I hated the orange man. Orange man good. Orange man good. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. You know, these presidential debates are important prior to an election, but in all honesty, they need to have a better reach because the mainstream media, you know, they're going to have their spin on it, and people who hate the orange man, they're just going to hate the orange man. And those of us who actually care about what's going on in this country, we want to know what Trump's going to say, and we want to see Trump take Biden to task, you know. And then there's this whole email scandal going on, and I've actually been wondering how much of it is legitimate and how much of it is made up, because, you know, the Hillary Clinton email scandal, they said there was 33,000 missing emails. 33 is the hoax code, so she didn't have 33,000 missing emails. But what was not denied was that she had a server in her basement or bathroom or something like that. And she could use a cell phone or use her emails on a cell phone to talk to government officials in other countries. And it wouldn't be, in the government database. So if anybody filed a FOIA, a Freedom of Information Act document to get access to those emails, well, you know, they wouldn't be able to. But you know something, the government is very corrupt. We let our government get too big, and it's gotten out of hand. You know, there's a whole lot of checks and balances to keep it in place, but you know, these checks and balances, they're crumbling. You know, there's still a lot of good checks and balances. And in the case of that Michigan governor, you know, she got told that she was being a tyrannical, authoritarian piece of garbage, and but it took a long time for the state government told her, no, you have been, you know, you've been a little bit extreme there. But it didn't stop all the damage that she's created. All these Democrat governors and their lockdowns and destroying people's livelihoods, allowing hospitals to be able to only see people who have quote unquote COVID-like diseases, because, you know, the government is only reimbursing, or I don't know if they're only reimbursing, but the government was reimbursing people with COVID diagnosis thousands of dollars. So if you get somebody admitted with COVID, you get a bunch of money. If they go on an event, the hospitals get a bunch of money. And apparently it made the hospital so much money that they were able to shut down the hospital system from cancer treatments, which are a huge money maker, emergencies like heart attacks, strokes, accidents, all kinds of stuff, because they were, you know, chomping at the bit for these big dollars coming from the government. I don't even understand. You know, it seems that, well, you know, we're finding out that there is a lot of amoral people. And in some instances, our hospitals are foreign owned. So that means people who don't have white morals and standards are owning our hospitals, and they're telling caregivers, you know, like doctors, nurses, and ancillary staff, who they can and cannot treat. Not just the insurance companies, but, you know, these foreigners who own the hospitals. God, this has really gotten out of hand. You know, people want money, you know, they get greedy, and then they lose their morality. It's not money that corrupts, it's corrupt people. They become more corrupt when they get more money, and they can do that. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to live stream the debate tonight. I got so much to do. You know, I got to make soap, and I got to cut my soap, and I got to put it in the packages to make it pretty for everybody. And then I got to create a website and all kinds of stuff to do. But this presidential debate's coming up tonight, and I'm kind of excited because, you know, I mean, I'm not like this huge Trump fan or anything like that, but to me, Trump is very funny, and he always says something really funny, and I just don't like Biden. Biden is a piece of garbage. And then let me see, what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, I want to tell you guys how to vote. Like that's probably the last thing you want to hear come out of my mouth, right? Let me tell you how to vote. So anyway, here we go. Let me tell you how to vote, because this is my opinion. This is purely in my opinion. I think the most important person to vote for is going to be your county sheriff. So make sure you put a lot of thought into who you vote for to be the county sheriff, because the county sheriff is the last layer of defense against tyrannical state government and a tyrannical federal government. And let me give you an example. So we have these 2A sanctuary counties, and that's in response to the corrupt state government and potentially a corrupt federal government, because, you know, Trump was kind of flirting with the idea of passing, you know, or what is it? He's pro red flag laws. So a lot of people are very concerned about that. And then also all this lockdown nonsense in some counties where the sheriff has a spine. He said, no, I'm not going to enforce that. So there are places around the United States where there's been lockdowns and mask laws, or I guess they're not laws, or executive orders, guidelines, or whatever, and people just aren't wearing them, and nobody can say anything to you. And in some states, the health department is the one that's supposed to be enforcing that. Yeah, so these unregulated agencies, you know, unelected agencies, coming and fining you and arresting you. It's all communism, folks. It's all communism. Communists have been working hard to take this country over. They tried to do it back in the early 1900s, and they were unsuccessful because Americans were just not really, we're not made up of different levels or different classes like other societies are. You know, we're Americans. We started out pretty much the same place. We do have our elites, but we're Americans, and the way that these elites have been able to get us to fight has been by bringing in foreigners. And so now the foreigners, you know, they had to create an underclass by bringing in the foreigners, and now it's, you know, the brown versus the white, the who whites. All right, white people, that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to your thoughts below.